Another week, another slew of Reddit threads that I unfortunately have to talk about due to the sheer amount of brain rot that is being caused by them. But truthfully, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's tradition at this point. If you guys enjoy the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and of course hit the like button. And if you haven't tried my flavor of glitch energy called Rage Aid, it is guaranteed to increase your death slams via Battlefield 2042 by a whopping 2,587%. Tested and confirmed by me. Use code UNDERS for 20% off, link in the description. Now then, what are these threads we have to talk about? Well, unfortunately, it's about movement again. I know, it's such a tiresome topic, isn't it? Because the conversations quickly devolve into insults, and no one really ever talks about mechanics or the specifics of what's actually going on, and if they do, they just get downvoted, and that's exactly what happened to me. I was about to go to bed, but before I did, I saw this brand new thread get posted, and it's about this very short clip of Battlefield 6. Of course, I cannot show you this clip. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to take my description of it. The clip is called Sideways Dive, and it is a clip of this person attempting to utilize what looks to be a sideways dive. I don't think that's what it is, but we'll get into that later. So I was watching this clip and he was trying to use it in some gameplay to extremely little effect. And, you know, I don't need much time to discern if movement is useful in Battlefield, so I simply commented, looks incredibly situational, likely to cause death 99% of the time. My comment was quickly upvoted to the very top of the thread with almost 400 upvotes at the time of me recording this video, and then the replies unfortunately came in. People replying things like, good, and that's a good thing, right? And absolutely that's a good thing. But if you read between the lines of this seemingly harmless reply, you find their true belief. They hate any advanced movement. They hate all of it. And they love when this sort of thing results in guaranteed death, because it means that they never have to play against it. They essentially hate every movement option ever in Battlefield games. And I find it hilarious because these people on the subreddit are the people that are so quick to call anything they see that's quick or any sort of jumping or any sort of sliding, any sort of diving, Call of Duty. They love to say, oh, the people that love this movement want to turn Battlefield into COD, they want to ruin Battlefield, but they're fucking hypocrites because they are the people that want to make Battlefield something that it isn't. These are the people that sit on Reddit and cry waterfalls of tears every single time they see an extremely basic, mediocre movement option in a Battlefield game. I can link the Reddit thread in the description, and you guys can watch these clips that I'm talking about. This sideways dive that these players are looking at, in my opinion, isn't the dive at all. I think these are actually different animations for using the prone function. Yes, because if you remember, people speculate that you can prone on your back in Battlefield 6, which means that if you're proning to the side or proning behind you, the animation for proning will look different and thus maybe look like a dive to some people. But in terms of the actual usefulness of this movement, it looks worse than the BF1 slide. In fact, when I replied to these people, I told them that this movement looks completely useless the way it's currently implemented, and you'd be better off standing still. But of course, that concise and very polite explanation wasn't good enough for them, so they decided to downvote me into oblivion. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, the people that are on the Battlefield subreddit are the worst FPS players known to mankind. In fact, I hesitate strongly even calling them players, because I think a lot of these people replying to these Battlefield 6 threads, particularly having to do with movement, are what I like to call tourists. A lot of these people likely haven't played Battlefield in years, and they sort of tour around these different threads, spewing their absolute nonsense wherever they fucking please. But again, make no mistake, these people that are so against any sort of movement in the next Battlefield game do not understand what Battlefield has been for over 15 years at this point. They want to destroy Battlefield. They are incompetent. If they had it their way, I doubt they would fucking even allow you to sprint. I swear to God. And allow me to pose a suggestion. Whenever a new Battlefield movement thread is posted, there should be some sort of bot that requires you to link gameplay as well as your stats before it lets you comment on the thread itself. This would be for pure context. I just want to see who I'm talking to, you know? And I also think it'd be very, very hilarious, and it would provide a really needed ray of light on who exactly is leaving these comments. Unfortunately, that will never happen. This is not a perfect world. Now, of course, that isn't all people were complaining about on the Battlefield subreddits. There's plenty more where that came from, but one of the more popular things I saw come up in multiple different threads over the past 2 days is people were really, really annoyed about the leaks suggesting the Assault class has a med pen. And this is nothing new. The Assault class in Battlefield 2042 has a med pen, but people were really, really annoyed that in Battlefield 6, the Assault class's med pen appears to recharge on its own. So what do the all-knowing Redditors suggest? Well, they just said remove it. That was their feedback. They said, please remove it from the game, thank you. So I posed a very simple question to them. Are you going to remove medic class as well? Because their goal here, their true intention, is they don't want people to be able to self-heal. So I asked them, are you going to remove the medic class as well? Because if you remove Assault's self-sustainability, they are going to switch to the medic class. Okay? You're never going to be able to remove self-healing from the game. So what's the better solution? Well, you take away the med pen's ability to recharge on its own. Done. It's fixed. Literally completely fixed if you just do that. And to some people's credit, they did actually suggest that in these threads. So kudos to you for actually having 5 brain cells to rub together. But I just wanted to cover some of these people's replies as to why they think the med pen should be removed. This guy says it's a problem in 1v1 engagements, and he feels like if he gets someone to 1 HP, he should be able to push them to finish the job and he should be rewarded. Here's the thing. How is a person healing behind cover with a med pen any different than a medic dropping a fucking medic bag behind cover and healing? It isn't, right? It's functionally the same thing as 1v1ing a medic. Also, why is this dumbass pushing out of cover to push towards somebody that can potentially heal behind his own cover? You see, the thing is, these people don't know how to play the fucking game, okay? If he was truly in a situation where he was able to push this person confidently and guarantee himself the kill, he wouldn't have to be on 1 HP for you to kill him. If it was really a good push, you could push him when he had 100 HP. It's all about timing and positioning and the way you hold angles and just the way you play the fight. But of course that doesn't matter because MedPen OP guys, please remove it from the game. But the big thing I really want you guys to take away from this video is a lot of these people that are arguing against every single tiny movement option there may be in the game, whether it be them complaining about jumping, them complaining about being able to crouch spam, people complaining about the slide and the dive and, the sprint speed. Anything these players are complaining about, just know they are the fucking enemy. I'm going to be completely honest. They're the problem. They are the people that want to turn Battlefield into something it isn't. Meanwhile, I would like to think of myself and many other people in the community as people that are simply asking them to not completely remove every single skill gap creating mechanic in the entire game. I am simply asking for maybe movement like BF4, movement like BF5, something comparable to what we've experienced before. I am not asking for wall running. I'm not asking for the ability to double jump. I am asking for basic, normal Battlefield movement that we have all come to know and love and expect from the franchise. And I will end this video off by giving you guys an extremely important reminder. We have seen what happens to the gameplay of Battlefield if DICE listens to people that constantly complain about every single tiny movement ability in the game. Battlefield 1 is a living reminder that when you remove movement that the game was intentionally designed with, the gameplay itself crumbles and falls apart. I played Battlefield 1 just a couple days ago. I am an extremely good player in that game. I can tell you firsthand, there is almost no individual outplay in that game from a mechanical perspective. It is a purely momentum-based and positional experience. You can never be in the right position 24/7, and if you're on the wrong team, it is hell on earth, especially if you're playing solo. And that is not a good thing. You should never have to play with 4 people 24/7 just to have an enjoyable experience. That is why individual skill gap and outplay being in the game is so important. It allows you to be able to brute force some scenarios just enough to where there is a skill gap, to where there is something to learn in the game, and to where you can help turn the tide yourself. This sort of thing has always been in Battlefield, and the people arguing against it don't know how Battlefield actually plays. And even more importantly, they don't understand why having game mechanics is important for a game's gameplay. So that will conclude this installment of Enders is Irritated by Reddit and Incompetency once again. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. As always, all links are in the description. If you haven't tried my Glitch Energy flavor Rageade, it's strawberry lemonade. Glitch Energy as a brand really focuses on trying to remove as much bullshit from energy drinks as possible. So if that sounds interesting, link is in the description. Be sure to use my code or anyone else's code for 20% off. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.